Hey, everybody. Hi. We are live. Just right off the bat, I want to just say if we disappear or freeze on you guys, just hang tight. We'll be right back with you. We've been having some preliminary problems. And so, okay, as usual, if you're watching this right now, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Then like the content. It's important. You got to hit the like button too, guys. They go hand in hand. Subscription, like, and then don't forget to hit that little bell so that we every time we come on live, YouTube will notify you. Right? Okay. And then I want you to comment tonight, comment live, comment in the replay, and then share it. Just share it with everybody. Share it with the Big Ten Network. Share it with the Nebraska fans. Anybody you can get your hands on. Because I just know that they would love to hear what a real football team looks like and sounds like with real podcasters. Now, I've been told that we have breaking news. Dun-dun-dun-dun. I don't have that little ESPN breaking news alert. I wish I did. There has been a Molly Davis sighting at Carver Hawkeye Arena.
Yeah.
I don't know why she was there, but gosh darn it, I wish I knew.
Probably just visiting on Tuesday, but the old newscast would have type.
If I watch Instagram and I was just gonna say, if I watch Instagram and TikTok, I'm sure there'll be some pictures with some of the girls there. This is getting to be a joke. But we're going to do the best we can. We're going to try to get through this show tonight as best we can. I have no idea why. It is 106 degrees here right now in this Bakersfield. And so, it just dropped to 105. So that might have something to do with it tonight. Okay, guys, we got a jam-packed show tonight. We're going to talk Media Day. We're going to talk Kids Day. We're going to talk a little bit of everything, okay? And we try to organize this in such a way that we're not going to jump all over the place. And so we're just going to start, first of all, with some of the coaches' comments over the last couple days. And I think there's some interesting things. And let's get started with the head man himself, Kirk Ferentz. And some of the things he had to say and share. What do you think? What you got? Anything, Calvin, on that?
Well, he made a lot of comments about different players. I don't know if you want to use them comments when we get to each position group or anything, but I think he's very, very happy with the effort and leadership of the team in practice. And most of the injuries are very short term, which is great. So,
yeah, we didn't talk about the injuries, but we can talk about them later and who didn't dress and who was told that they weren't dressing but did and showed up, and who dressed and then wasn't dressed later. My understanding from listening to all the podcasts, guys. Both Kelvin and I, we're probably on overload. We watched a lot of video. We've read a lot of stuff the last 2 days on everything that was there. I was going to share some video clips with you, but it turns out that even though I could email them to myself, I could not download them to my computer. Oh, actually, I could download them to my computer, but they won't download to this StreamYard. Okay. And so that's a little disappointing because I thought that would be fun for you guys. And we'll talk about when we get to the players themselves, we'll talk about what I was downloading for excitement, but I got excited. But one of the things I thought, Kirk said that it's kind of everybody's kind of eager and anxious this time of year, and that's true. I mean, everybody's coming, but I just thought I really liked what he had to say about his relationship with Pat Fitzgerald. Him and his wife. Now that they're non-competitive, and he said he's turned out to be a really nice guy when you aren't competing against him. And I just thought, yeah. But, they said, and then I thought later on his son said that Pat Fitzgerald has nothing but respect for Kirk and the Iowa program. But that's not kind of what we heard over the years. Maybe he developed that respect later, but I could have sworn in his earlier years he did not like Iowa program.
Well, Gary Barnett told everybody that he built his program to copy Iowa, the way they were built. But we were also, that was our biggest competitor. So when you're competitive, you don't like each other when you're playing each other, and
No, that's
and
true.
Fitzgerald just carried on the Barnett tradition, and of trying to build a team like Iowa did, But I like Kirk said that he found out that Fitz's wife is just like Mary; she runs the whole deal. So
Yeah, and yeah. Ryan Fitzgerald also said in that's one of the things that attracted him to Iowa was the fact that Iowa program and Northwestern were built similar, and so he's comfortable with that. He's comfortable with the coaches, and be honest with you though, the way we play quarterback roulette in this school, will he ever play a down? I mean, ever catch a ball or throw a ball? I mean, okay, let's move on to Lester a little bit.
I'm pretty high on him. So I believe he's got Chuck Long and Devin Harberts and Charlie Jones's number 16. So.
Oh, okay, good. All right, what about Lester? Some of the things he had to say. I'm going to give you a chance to speak to that if you can. Not everything he had to say was about players, so
He's
okay.
all excited about running the Shanahan offense. Same thing he usually says. And Ruggiero, his new assistant, is so excited about running this offense. He says it's great, So
Yeah.
most of the things I heard him talking about was about different players, But
yeah. Well, I tried to take notes not on the players, so I guess he just talked about how with the quarterbacks and the receivers, the muscle memory, the repeating it, to get the routes done and everything, and it sounds like that they could change those routes on the fly if they need to, which is what I've been kind of saying. The schools with the best wide receivers, the wide receivers don't always stick to a route, that they find a way to get open, and the quarterback finds them. And I'm hoping that that's what happens this year.
Yeah.
And we need that to happen because in the previous years.
I remember he also said a lot of people call an X wide receiver a big guy on the outside, and Lester said no. He said you want your X guy to be the guy that the other team can't cover. He wants them to be. It'd be nice if they're big and fast and everything, but if they're fast and quick and run routes correct, they don't have to be very big to be an X receiver. So.
Right. Correct. Yeah. Yeah. And he did talk a little bit about the O-line, how excited he was with the O-line. I believe that this O-line is probably going to be the strongest O-line we've had in 3 or 4 years, because I think we all know that we blame some of the O-line issues for some of the lack of important wins when we needed them. It's kind of hard, as you say, it's kind of hard to argue when Iowa's winning between 8 and 10 games every year, with the winning percentage. But just think of what we could have done if the O-line would have been a little better.
Yeah,
in my opinion,
we had the O-line last year. We just didn't have a quarterback and a healthy quarterback, and the wide receivers weren't. The whole team wasn't used to the offense yet. If Lester would have come a year earlier with that offensive line we had last year, I looked at the statistics and people say, "Oh, pass protection wasn't very good." Well, we gave up less than 5% of the pass attempts did we give up a sack, which is very, very good if you know the math. And
yes,
and if we'd had quarterbacks,
well, the thing is yeah. Well, one of the things about the quarterback situation last year is they intentionally did not focus on the pass game. If you've heard Lester speak, he had to decide when he realized he didn't have any real quarterbacks in camp. he had to decide what to focus on, and his focus was on the run game. And I think it was talking about running to the outside, I think, is what he was trying to do. And I could be, because that was a couple of weeks ago interview a while ago now. And so, but yeah, so he's got the quarterbacks, we got the wide receivers that we want, we got the quarterbacks that we want. We should make it and put it all together, so it should work a lot well. He all but said Brown was the number 2, but Helinski's right there. He likes what they're both doing, but he pretty much said in the interview I looked at that Brown was his number 2. Somebody asked, and he said yes. But he also said that Brown's been looking really good in practice, and he's been running with the ones too. He's been taking snaps with the ones. So, guys, I know that we already know that Brown's not going to be the number 1 quarterback at the beginning of the season, but it's nice to know that he has the capability if our quarterback Gronk goes down. All right, Phil Parker. We want to talk a little bit about him and some of the things he had to say. Do you have anything you want to add to it before I continue to add? Because I feel like I'm doing all the talking tonight.
Well, you got more.
Which is unusual.
I always put in my head what the tidbits they drop on certain players. I kind of know what Phil does on defense, but so when we get to positions and stuff, I know you're having internet problems, so I'll keep talking.
You'll bring that up.
And yeah, I want to explain to people that, in California, the internet ain't working real good tonight, but we kind of know what Phil wants on defense. And I think he's very happy with the effort. If you have notes of quotes of his on non-player issues that you want to bring up, that'd be great. So
yeah, he's just talking about one of the things he's always, and I've heard him say this time and time again, is you got to limit the explosive plays. He wants no more than 2 a game. If you get 3 or 4, you've probably given up about 20 to 29 points, he said, and that's not good because that hurts, because that means you put the pressure on the offense to try to score more points than that. He says you just got to take care of business and do your job. And I guess some of these are about he says that the guys on the back end all need to be able to play multi-positions. And so we'll talk about those individual stuff. I guess you're right. I guess I got a lot of individual stuff on here about individual players, and we decided to hold out until we talk about position group. Okay. I got Seth Wallace next up. He said that they have done a they're pleased with what they have for linebackers in the linebacker room, that they've done a great job of recruiting, and they got a lot of talent, a lot of young talent. And so
and he likes their older players
real high
too.
on Jaden Harold. Yeah. But he feels like they've done a real good job. He talked about a couple other guys, and one of the things is I don't know where this guy is class-wise, but I haven't heard of him until now, and we could bring this up later too, is Preston Rees, or Rees, that's how they say his name, R-I-E-S.
Our last 2 or 3 podcasts, I've talked about him from Monticello, Iowa.
Okay,
he's
all right. Okay.
He's got all these weight room records as a freshman, but
well, he makes one of the reasons why they brought him up, because he made the freak list. He's a freshman, and Wallace doesn't even know how that got out there. He thought that stuff stayed in the weight room. He goes, "Who leaked it?"
I've been reading it for a couple 3 weeks, but
I know it. I know it.
But I've heard
I
about it previous, but
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. He's really
it's like
happy with his freshman.
yeah. Reese didn't even hear about it. They told him on media day. They say you're on the freaks list, and he goes. He talks just like Jack Campbell, very slow and to the point.
I
He
didn't
goes,
even. He
"What's
didn't even.
what?" He goes, "What's that?" And then they go, "How isn't it cool to have your name all over the walls in the weight room with all your records?" And he said, "That don't Reese. It's just like Jack Campbell. He just says that don't matter." He says it's how I play on the field, and he actually played
Yeah.
Leo and the other linebacker, not middle linebacker. Buffington's at middle linebacker, but in the spring game, which we should
Okay.
start talk about the spring of the Kids Day game now, I guess. But anyway,
Well, some of it, yeah, some of it's kind of overlapping, I think.
yeah.
So he just talked about his freshman class, how he's happy with it. He's building a foundation. He's got some talent and he's got some depth there. Again, I'm going to pass over the rest of these. He just says you got to put these guys into the fire and see what smoke comes from it. So he's all about throwing the guys in the fire and just
Yeah.
see what they can do. Sink or swim.
Yeah. Yeah,
Which is kind of
Calvin Bell poked fun at Seth for using the smoke thing. Calvin Bell says, "Hell, we do all the work." He says, "We provide the smoke screen so the linebackers can make all the tackles. We do all the work." He was poking fun at Seth on that.
Okay. All right. All righty. Okay. So then I had Warren Ruggiero on here, and I just thought it was interesting because nobody really interviews these analyst type guys, and I thought it was how he said that he didn't have any previous relationship with Kirk, but he knew Lester from when Lester they were like offensive coordinators against each other. I think if I understood that right at
He
one
said
point,
he was
and then
interested
they
in.
just
He
remained
said he
friends.
was. He said he was interested in Lester's offense at Syracuse, and so he asked a
Mm-hmm.
friend if he could get Lester's phone number to talk to him, and he just always, whenever Lester
Oh,
moved
okay,
to a
okay.
different job, he kept getting his phone number, and they've talked for, I guess that would be like 15 years or something.
Yeah, it's been quite a while, but yeah, they got a little history, and when his it's Wake Forest, correct, that he was at,
Yep.
um, yeah, Wake Forest, and so once his coach lost his job, the first thing he did was call Tim and see if Tim had anything he could give him or had something for him, and he wanted to work for Tim, and so there he is. I like the fact that he called himself basically an advanced scout. He's going to get those guys a head start. So I imagine that he'll be scouting Iowa State, Kansas State really well a week from this Thursday. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And or is that the following week? No. I'm on jury duty, guys, next week. We might be running a little late on our podcast next week. Okay.
I doubt they'll
So
have you
yeah,
doing jury duty on Sunday.
that is true. First day is Monday, so you're right.
Yeah.
All right. So his job is to break down the opponent and get Tim a head start so that Tim can put together a game plan. He says that they'll put together a game plan on Sunday, and then on Monday they go practice that game plan.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but I imagine they have kind of an idea what that game plan would be going into it. That kind of helps Tim out a little bit, so that Tim can put his focus completely on the current game he's on, and doesn't have to divide his attention between the current team and the next team, because he says
Mm-hmm.
basically like last year, he couldn't work on Iowa State until that Sunday before the game, and he learned a lot. He learned that he Iowa State presented him a defense he wasn't familiar with. Going okay. Anyway, in the first half last year, we know that we cracked that defense. We just ended up with field goals and not touchdowns. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Kevin Bell. Okay. Um, he really talked about guys last year and um, who made some huge plays for them, and they weren't starters. And
Mhm.
so we won't name names yet. You guys can probably think of that. He talked about he doesn't know if Epineza will get on the field or not. You know, he's not saying much. He just said that he has some things to learn yet. But he
Mhm.
is a big physical specimen, and but he's not ready. And so, yeah, he really dodged that question when he said, "I don't know if he's getting on the field or not." So,
Yeah, the only question he didn't dodge, which we'll talk about when we get to the position group, was Hawthorne.
yeah,
He said he is really something, which you could see in the spring game. So anyway,
yeah.
but we'll talk
Well, then
about
we
that,
have
I guess,
George
when we get
Barnett.
there.
Yeah, we'll get there. I'm trying to go through it now because I know that most of
Mhm.
this stuff is about the guys and everything. All right.
Yeah.
So we got George Barnett up next, and basically he just talks a lot about the guys and how much work they're putting in, and basically his big thing was to stick with the process, don't doubt yourself. Um, his job is to make every kid believe in themselves, even when they have a bad game, a bad practice. He just goes and just believe in yourself and just push through that and just come out more positive next game. I mean, listen to some of these coaches. I mean, I really like what they had to say.
And he's making
Yeah,
he's making sure our veteran All-American players are teaching the freshmen before and after every practice. So I think that's pretty cool. So,
yeah. So, guys, I just want to say something real quick
yeah.
before we move on to the position groups because that is next on our list.
Okay.
I'm not going to say the kid's name because I know the kid's full name, but anybody who watched Corey Beretta's show the other night with what's his name, the coach, can't even
Don
think of his name
Patterson,
anymore. How can I?
Coach
Gosh,
Patterson.
Patterson, yeah.
Mhm.
Coach Patterson. Yeah. It just makes me like, why can't I remember that anymore? My name's like, but there's this
Mhm.
12-year-old kid who called into the show and it was so impressive. I think even um, Patterson and Corey were taking this. And so I'll just give you his first name. I do know his last name. His first name
Mhm.
is Nate, and obviously because he's 12, he doesn't really have a presence on social media.
Yeah.
So if anybody knows him or his dad, get in touch with me because I think it would be fun to have a podcast with him and just
Yeah.
pick his brain and see what a 12-year-old could pick,
Yeah. Well,
and that would be really,
it'd be an
oh my God,
upgrade.
no. All
It'd be
right.
an upgrade. It'd be an upgrade over Kelvin, but
Kelvin, nobody's an upgrade over you.
oh, don't say that. Donate to the Swarm. So,
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah.
so
Calvin and I are both working on people to bring on guests for us, guys. So, um, yes, we know, Jason. We know we're breaking up. It's been going on since the beginning of the show, and I don't know how to stop it.
mhm.
Um, right now, I guess the internet, I guess, is a little overheated here in California, Bakersfield. 106 to get degrees. Jason, I don't know if you heard that we're under a heat advisory.
We'll get
So
through it, Dean.
hopefully not the
So,
whole show. Yeah. All right. So I before we move on to the position groups, I would love to do a commercial if you guys will allow me. I just have to find the right commercial. I think this is it right here. Okay. Okay, we are back. And wouldn't you know it, during the commercial, we didn't break up at all. And we just lost somebody, darn it. Hey, if they would have just hung on for just a second longer. I know they probably didn't want to see that commercial. All righty. Okay, let's get to our comments. Okay. Oh, just Jason leaving some comments. All righty.
Yeah. Now let's go on. We can
Okay.
go on to our
So
position
let's
group.
start with quarterback.
Oh boy.
We're going under our position. Let's start with quarterback. Oh,
You want
boy.
me to go ahead?
Boy.
You want me to go ahead?
Now I know you got a lot to talk about, so I'm going to let you start. No, I want you to start because I've been doing all the talking.
I don't think I'm breaking up or anything. So anyway, I think we have 4 pretty good quarterbacks. The way it looked to me, Gronowski obviously was very accurate on his long throws, which we haven't seen at Iowa like that probably since Beathard. Great touch and everything. And of course, he has a good presence in the pocket and good decision making. Real good feet. And he's the type of guy when we get in a real game, you can run some quarterback draws and so forth with his 235 pounds. And you got to like Gronowski. There was 3 fumbles in there, either on 2 shotgun snaps. I don't know if that was snap problems. I'm not sure. And he had one where it was a handoff to Patterson, but that was Patterson's fault. He fell down as he was trying to get the handoff. As far as Hank Brown, boy, he was hot when he started.
Yeah.
It was just bang, bang,
I want to ask you about that hand. Do you think it was a combination of? Yeah, I mean, do you think it was a combination of Gronk and his center? Because I don't know if Logan Jones was actually the center in those. He might have been.
Logan was
a combination of both. A bad snap and a bad pitch.
Yeah, Logan was the center. But I would say that
just a bad snap on his part.
I would be pretty sure that Logan needs to brush up on what he's doing. I know one of the shotgun snaps was off to the right, and you should.
Mm-hmm.
I was a center. You snap right for the middle of the body, maybe a little to the right, but not much, but so anyway, but I'm very impressed with Gronowski, and he averaged way more yards per attempt than the other quarterbacks. Of course, now there's caution, Hank Brown only averaged 3 yards per attempt. He had like 32 yards on 11 attempts, but he came in at the start and was clicking 2 touchdown passes right away, but they were red zone plays, so you can't build up a lot of yards,
Right.
But the thing that Gronowski, I'm very high on Hank Brown. The thing that Gronowski handled better than Hank Brown did later in the scrimmage was pressure. Hank Brown has very quick feet, not as good a footwork in the pocket. And Lester commented on that still working on. He's got the quickest testing feet that Lester's ever been around. Just needs to calm down. And he didn't handle pressure as good later in the scrimmage. But gosh, I love both quarterbacks. Hecklinski, I love him. You talk about a quick release and a flipping release like Raiola. He's a very interesting young man who's only been practicing with this fall. So he has a great touch on the ball. He threw a great ball to Weigin, and Weigin caught it, and the referee called him out of bounds, which Weigin was not out of bounds.
Yeah.
And and Hecklinski,
just back up real quick.
Hecklinski did fumble a under the center snap with Cale Winter, the 3rd string center. But I like all them quarterbacks. I thought Stratton looks
let's
good.
back up real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's back up real quick back to Brown. according to what I read on Chad Light's report, that Browns would have had a better day for yardage and completions if some pass interference calls had been made. You know, there was a referee there, but maybe they just were letting them get away with stuff. Yeah,
That's possible.
Also, Gronowski on the list that the Hawkeye report sent said that Gronowski was 9 for 21 for 121 yards. That's average of and a pick six. That's average of 10 yards per attempt. However, Lysico has it listed as 10 for 20 for 138 yards. So
Kakert had him 10 for 21.
I know that there's
for
no official stats.
137.
They're probably out there keeping their own stats. So, we're not going to get accurate.
Yeah, and the thing is about stats at that damn kids game is they play touch. They play touch football like running backs. As soon as they're touched, they stop the play, and there was a lot of runs where a running back could have ran for another 10, 15 yards.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, you heard the whistle blow on a big play, and it's just like, okay.
Yeah, I told you beforehand.
Anybody see the one pass that?
That what?
Did anybody see the one play that Fritz did for 1 for 7 yards? That Fritz did. Anybody see that one?
Fitzgerald? Yeah. Okay. No, I didn't. I didn't see it, but obviously he had the highest yards per completion at 7.
Okay. Well, I'm going to tell you what. I had that one as one of my things to show you guys tonight, and guess what?
Cool.
I can't show it.
Who did you throw it to?
Show it. I didn't get that information because when I'm watching it on my phone, I can't see who's who unless somebody tells me. So I did not see who he threw it to.
Yeah, I keep watching it over and over. We
also forgot to mention Jimmy Sullivan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Jimmy Sullivan threw for 1 for 2 for 4 yards. So that's in your book. That's 2 yards per attempt.
Mm-hmm.
Right? No, that's I don't know. I don't know how to figure that out because he missed one, so he only got 1 for 4 yards. But anyway, Shaggy was 1 for 2 for 11. And I just want to keep everybody in line that Shaggy did this while he's sick. He can't hold weight down or food around right now. And so give Shaggy some credit here. The one thing about it is I keep reminding everybody, he is the only undefeated quarterback on our roster. He's 2-0?
Yeah. I will point out that Gronowski has 49 wins. So.
Yeah, he does. He played a lot more games. Shaggy's only played two and a half.
I told you earlier in the day.
I would have started Shaggy in the bowl game to see what he can do. What's that?
I don't. I want to point out that I had several friends and acquaintances at the game watching, and of course, you have 8 guys there, and 5 of you tell you that one guy looked really good, and the other 3 didn't like him. That's just the way it is. But Gronowski got the highest ratings from everybody for pocket presence and for his body. Some of these younger quarterbacks still, if you're going to run the football in the Big Ten, that was Sullivan's problem last year. He was too slightly built. If you're not going to get down or get out of bounds, and Gronowski has the build, he has the footwork, he has the experience, but I like a bunch of the other quarterbacks,
Yeah. Well, I think this is the deepest quarterback room we've had in a long time.
Mm-hmm. Bryson's Hayden here.
Is next year after Gronowski's gone, and we got a battle between Helinski and Brown for the, So
I don't think we'll need a transfer.
Breaking up or something because we talking
a
over
little
each
bit,
other.
a little bit. Well, but we might not need a transfer quarterback next year. So
Yeah, I would agree with that. They are actually, speaking of quarterbacks, they're going to wait and see 4 or 5 games into the season before they offer a 26 quarterback, but they have every intention of doing so. But they think they got the luxury of waiting this time. As you guys all know, we lost the one and only 26 quarterback we had, and
Yeah.
so.
And I want to point out, one
I don't know if you
podcaster
guys have
keeps
tried
saying,
whiskey, but it's good.
well, okay. One podcaster keeps pointing out that we have 6 quarterbacks on the roster. Well, yeah, but we only have 4 scholarship quarterbacks. Hopefully Fitzgerald's good enough to get a scholarship. And hope maybe Shaggy will be good enough to get a scholarship. We only have 4 scholarship quarterbacks on the roster. Next year, there'll only be 3 of them left. So yes, we need another scholarship quarterback. Unless Fitzgerald and Shaggy earn scholarships. That's my view.
Okay, so Shaggy hasn't earned his yet. Okay. All righty. Okay, let's go on to the running backs, okay?
Mm-hmm.
We had 2 running backs that most people probably weren't counting on for this year to play. McNeil and Williams. One went for 8 for 32 and one for 5 for 30. McNeil had a couple of great runs in there. And so, I mean, the future of the running back is solid. I don't know if these guys are going to push Jazz and Jazz and Moulton out of there or not, or TJ Washington out of there. But the stats that you sent me from from Rivals, Hawkeye Report, it only gives me 2 running backs. It doesn't give me the others, so I don't know what the others did. Can you tell me how the others did?
The other stats didn't look that great. So, but like I told you, in this Kids Day scrimmage, they play touch football. So when a running back,
yes.
when a running back got ran and some guy touches him with a fingertip, they quit the yardage. They don't give him any more yardage, which is stupid. I mean, there was plays where Xavier Williams ran 20 yards downfield and they gave him 3. Boy, he is good.
Yeah. And
the guys that I had at the game, all of them said running back 1 and 2 is Williams and McNeil. That's how good they look. So anyway.
Okay. So I'm gonna try this real quick. So the other thing too is I wanted to point out with the running back situation is do we think McNeil and Williams are gonna play a lot, or are they just gonna be garbage time situations? Because are the other 3 still firmly ahead of them? We know Kamari Moulton is hurt. We know that. We don't know if he's out how long, but he's not practicing, and he didn't play yesterday. Jazz Patterson was supposed to be out, but showed up late in the scrimmages. And I don't know about Washington. Did he even have anything going on yesterday?
I think he got it. I don't know. Also, Brevin Dowell and Braden Jackson look good. There's 4 freshmen running backs. So, but the coaches said days before that they didn't need to see the veteran players at each position even have any reps. We already know what they can do. We want to give the 3rd, 4th team guys reps so we can see what they do in an actual game situation. So I'm not surprised.
I'll go along with that.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. And I would not predict, other than Xavier Williams, I think he'll be in that top 4, and Brevin Dowell will be 4 or 5. I think those top 5, I don't know if McNeil will play, but boy, he's exciting. He is good. So.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's move on to the wide receiving core. For from everything I heard, Vander Zee and Anderson owned the day. Would you agree?
I thought there was Vander Zee, Anderson, and Dayton Howard were the top three. We know Gill's going to be very good, but I would say those are your top four wide receivers. If Wetchin wouldn't have dropped that easy pass, Weechin, I guess you call him, he had an impressive day otherwise, but boy, when you drop a pass, coaches don't like that,
No.
but
Well,
if he
McNeil had
doesn't
3
drop,
catches.
if he doesn't drop otherwise in practice and games, they ain't going to hold it against him. So,
No. So McNeil had 3 catches for 19 yards, and Howard 2 catches for 15. So they both did pretty well. Bowie had 2 for 13 yards. I thought Bowie was one of them that wasn't supposed to play yesterday or practice.
he just came back 3 days ago.
The name. Okay. Sam Phillips is not on this list. He was on that list of people who didn't dress yesterday? Is that correct?
No, he played. He got his eye poked in the end zone, and they had to take him out.
Oh,
he had an eye injury, but they said he'll probably be good. I forgot Bowie would have been my 4th wide receiver. I want to say about Dayton Howard. Dayton Howard is like bigger than Marvin McNutt, has hands like Marvin McNutt, and he's faster than Marvin McNutt.
I think this guy's going to do okay.
Good. Yeah.
However, Parker only had 1 catch for 11 yards. Gill had 1 catch for 11 yards. So both of them, yards per catch, outshined Howard.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who Smith is. Should I know? I can't remember.
Terrence Smith, the 4-star freshman wide receiver.
Okay, he's got 1 catch for 7 yards.
He's number 13.
Yeah. Burt, I was high on him early in his career. 1 catch for 4. DJ Vanahe, I can't even. I had that name corrected once before, now blew it again.
Vanami
just went on scholarship. Vanami. Had one throw, 2, but no catches. At least none for a yard. He had 1 catch for 0 yards, so he must have caught it at line of scrimmage. Astringa. Now this tells you a lot about what our future is going to look like at tight end. 1 catch for 2 yards. That's the only tight end on that list, I believe, with 8 catches. So it looks like that we're phasing out the tight ends. You think?
I don't
think or not.
Gronowski threw to the tight ends more. Gronowski threw to the tight ends more. He threw one into the end zone.
You're frozen.
I'm not on this end, but Astringa had 1 catch in the end zone, and they said he come down with 1 foot out of bounds, where he had to really high point the ball real good. Then Astringa had 2 down the seam. Gronowski threw to him, and Gronowski threw an almost perfect pass, and he was covered, but Astringa, the ball went right off the end of his fingertips. So I'm not too worried about that, but anyway.
Okay. And just see if I got any notes on this stuff before we move on. Oh, I just thought somebody, I don't know who made it, but somebody made a Wadley for McNeil, made a Wadley comparison.
Just because he wears the same. Just because he wears the same number. 25, but this guy's faster than Wadley. He's quick like Wadley, but he's bigger than Wadley. He weighs 205 already. Wadley never weighed 200 pounds in his life at Iowa, but I can see the quick twitch.
Yeah, I believe it was Chad Lysicle that wrote that, and he did say that.
So
Yeah.
I'd rather we
Okay,
compare
so
I'd rather compare McNeil to Ronnie Harmon the way he runs, and the way he catches. He can't catch the ball like Ronnie, but he's a good pass catcher too. So anyway,
okay, so I guess Anderson had catches of 44, 11, and 24 yards each. So that's pretty solid. I like the 44 yards and 24. I mean, those would be considered explosive plays, would they not?
I'd call him the star of the Iowa offense, Seth Anderson.
Okay. Yeah, Vander Zee beat Deshaun Lee for a 33-yard catch. That might have been the touchdown. That might have been his touchdown too. Does he? So did I see right that they only had? So anyway, moving on. Let's go on to the O-line. I'm not as well versed on the O-line as I should be. I don't have a lot of notes, so talk to me about the O-line, buddy.
Lauk started at left tackle. Of course, Dunker was at right tackle. Leighton Jones at left guard. Bryce George played both left guard and left tackle. Dotzler played left tackle and right tackle. Stevens was out. He's our left guard. Pieper was right guard with Malinsky backing him up. Malinsky got hurt, but it was just a tweaked ankle. He's supposed to be all right. And Pieper was our second center when Logan Jones came out. Pieper's supposed to be our center next year. And Cale Winter was our third or fourth center. And all I know is our pass protection was better than it has been at Kids Day for a long time, would be my, probably since 2019 or 20. But
yeah, as we know, usually this time of year the defense is way ahead of the offense, and
this was the best offense on a Kids Day or spring game.
I think Mark Gronowski, so many of them did. He must have got tired of being in front of everybody's microphone.
But I think the
Anyway,
Iowa. I think the Iowa
said.
I think the Iowa offense was more impressive at this Kids Day or a spring game than I can remember for over a decade.
Yeah.
So
well, Gronowski said, I like what Gronowski had to say. He said that he really enjoyed burning the defense and as he put it, pissing them off.
yeah.
You know, I thought that was kind of cool too. Okay, any more on the O-line? I mean,
yeah, yes.
Okay, go for it.
Don Patterson. They asked him about what was wrong with all them screens. They'd run screens plays, and Patterson said, "I think it was more on the offensive line than on Gronowski." He said there were plays where Lauk and some of them other offensive linemen were supposed to be out there, and they should have knocked Entringer on his rear end and, gave that guy, they're supposed to be out there, and the screen receiver's supposed to be cutting in behind him, cutting inside. And he said, that's all timing, he thought. I wouldn't know, but I'm impressed with the offensive line,
Yeah, and did you give everybody the second team line that was out there the other day? Dotzler, George, Malinsky, Allgaier, and Leonard.
Yeah, and the big quote of the week was Barnett. Barnett said early in the week, and Kirk said after the game, the one offensive lineman that Kirk picked out was Allgaier, the true freshman. He says, he played left guard today, but he's a natural tackle. We ain't had a natural tackle at Iowa since Alaric Jackson and Tristan Wirfs. He's 6'6", weighs over 300 pounds, is a true freshman. And then Barnett said he loves him. He said he follows Dunker around and tries to mimic Dunker before practice, during practice, after practice. You guys put a bullet on that name, Allgaier. So, pretty exciting.
Looks to
So
me like he's going to get some playing time as a freshman.
I hope not. I hope
Okay.
he I hope he plays 4 full years at Iowa. But anyway,
All right. All right. Let's go. Let's move on to the punting game, the kicking game, the special teams. I'll just put it all in together. I heard that Drew Stevens kicked a 60-yard field goal, which would be nice. And I heard he nailed a couple 50-yarders. So that's nice. It's good to hear. I wasn't there to see it. And I understand that Reese Dakin was booming punts. One of them was 75 yards. And so I got a sneaky feeling, and that was one of the other ones. I had a video of that particular punt, but that one we can't show tonight either. Okay, so I got a feeling he's going to be better than our previous punter when all said and done by the time he leaves Iowa.
he looks like potentially the greatest punter ever at Iowa.
Yeah.
So
And I love this because as anybody who watched the Hawkaholics on August 4th, well, no, the week before August 4th on a Monday night, I was on their podcast with Reese Dakin, and what a cool guy that guy is. And, friendly, very accommodating. And, invited me to hang out with the team and him. We were exchanging now
phone numbers?
text messages, but not, the messenger. No, number.
Cool. Yeah.
I want to get him on this podcast. I really do. But
they probably won't let him on during the season.
The problem I'm having is I can the problem I have now is I was going to go to Oklahoma in November, and so we were going to forego our tickets to the USC game. But now that we're not going, I think I'm going to try to talk the missus into letting me buy those USC tickets. But they're nosebleed seat in the end zone, the cheapest ones I could find. And I'm going to tell you, I don't know if I want to watch. I've been in that stadium to watch football before. The higher you get, the harder it is to watch a football game there.
About place kickers, Dean, the backup place kicker is really good too. So that's a good sign. Good. Just a true freshman walk-on, Burr from here in Bettendorf. So
yeah, that's good to hear because he'll have his opportunity next year because I believe this is Drew Stevens' last season with Iowa. Okay,
yes, it is. Yes, it is. Another thing. Nissen was back at holder, and when Nissen's holding, we don't miss kicks. And then the other thing was the long snappers did excellent. So that's good.
Yeah. Okay. Thomas Hahn, he must have come on here a little bit late. So he just said something about outside zone running. Do you understand about outside zone running? This is where Jason would come in handy. I don't know what to say about outside
zone is what Kirk. That outside zone's what Kirk Ferentz made famous, and then they outlawed the cut block, which kind of hurt it. But with the 49er Green Bay offense running that outside zone with 2 tight ends blocking the edge and stuff, the outside run is back, and you've seen it with Caleb Johnson last year. So you throw in motion before, and then that can open up the outside run, open up the jet sweep, and it also opens up the middle, which we've seen Caleb go right up the middle at times, for long runs. So, yeah, I understand the outside zone. You don't have to be a genius to understand the outside zone.
All right. Okay.
And I'm no genius.
I just know when I'm watching a football game, I don't always know what formation and what they're in and what they're planning to do. I just know that we have run it to the outside a lot. a lot of games. I like it when we had Sean Green because we just ran it right up the middle and he was just bowling ball, pin everybody over.
When you watch the 49ers run, when they put their H-back and Kittle in, and they're always going in motion, sometimes ending up on the same side, you watch them guys seal the edge. Kittle is the best blocking tight end in football. And Usyk, or whatever his name is, the guy that plays the Hayden Large position, they're the key to the running game, so.
Yeah, this is getting harder and harder to do. Can we go back? Why is that not staying there? Okay, there we go. Who was Kelvin just talking about on the O line? I didn't hear it. Can you
Allgeier?
Because when you go out, they're not hearing everything you say. By the way,
yeah,
because I'm missing it too.
The true freshman.
Go ahead.
Allgeier, the true freshman, is the guy that Barnett and Kirk singled out over all the experienced guys. He's 6'6", 300 pounds, true freshman. His uncle played at Iowa for probably Hayden, around Tavian Banks time probably, and from the St. Louis area. And anyway, Kirk says he's playing left guard today, but he's a natural tackle. And you watch out for him. And Barnett said the same thing. And I'm just over the moon. When they mention somebody like that, you can just mark it in your book, that this guy's going to be a star. He's going to be a Brian Bulaga.
Yeah. Jason says thank you for that. All right. Getting back to where we're at. What about the punt returners? I hadn't heard anybody talk about the punt returner. How that was. Who was catching?
Yeah, they said. Of course, Weegin's our punt returner, but the backups were Phillips and who was the other guy? I don't know if it's KJ Parker. I don't know who it was, but
I thought it was somebody. I thought it was a DB.
We didn't run. We don't return punts. In the kids' game, especially when Dakin's punting. They all go out on the 5-yard line and they're 70-yard punts, so.
Yeah.
And there's no kickoff. There's no kickoff returns in the kids' day, so.
Yeah. Ouch. Yeah. Okay, so that moves us to the D line. Let's go to the D line. And I don't. Do I have a lot of notes on the D line? I don't think I do. I didn't get to that. I was counting on you to come through on the D line with me.
We sure the hell was good. I'll tell you that. Herkett didn't hardly play because he's a 6th-year guy. But Hawthorne and Graves. Hawthorne's just a beast. He's got 3 more years, and of course Llewellyn was really good. Got bunged up a little bit, but Kennedy come in and played defensive tackle and defensive end. He's got a great future. Chimike had to set out. Joseph Anderson maybe flashed a little bit. Nobody really mentioned him too much. Kayvon Merriweather pushed the tackle back into Hank Brown's arm at one point. Epinesa flashed, Osei. He's talented just like his brother, and Pace played good. He's a big guy.
But then you listen to his position coach and says, "Well, I don't know if he's going to get on the field at all."
Well, yeah, that's right.
What about Bryce George? He's on the O line.
Yeah, Bryce George is I told you he played left backup left guard and backup left tackle.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. You're right.
He's struggling.
Right. My bad.
They said he's struggling a little bit with the quickness of Big Ten and learning the new offense. It's got to be tough because he wasn't here this spring. But he'll at least be a good guy backup. if somebody gets hurt, so.
Yeah, they did talk about him and how much experience he brings. He's got like 39 games that he's played in as a college football player.
And
Okay.
then back to the defensive line, you got to mention how good Brian Allen was in the game, and they played him at defensive tackle and defensive end. So he's a very talented guy. We know that, but he had two shoulder surgeries after the bowl game, so he's just back at practice now.
Mm-hmm.
This defensive line could eat people up, so.
That would be nice. Oh, wouldn't that be great? Let's eat people up, and let's put Rocco Breck or whatever his name is on his back when we play him.
and the stars of the defensive line were Hawthorne and Llewellyn. Hawthorne, a brand new guy.
Yes, I had that down there, and Hawthorne came from South Dakota State, right? If I'm not mistaken.
He come with Gronowski. He's from Minnesota high school. He camped at Iowa twice, but we didn't offer him a scholarship. Of course, Gronowski, we didn't offer him a scholarship either. And he's rooming with Gronowski at Iowa. They're like buddies. And he loves Iowa. He loves Kirk Ferentz. He loves Calvin Bell.
I could have swore that Gronowski said his roommate was Jimmy Sullivan.
Nope. It's Hawthorne.
Yesterday. And then the main interviews of him yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah. Gronowski said this week that they're living in a hotel for some reason.
I get tired of this. I hope these people can understand this.
Yeah, we're fine. Nobody can understand.
They live in a hotel during camp week. And then when they break camp, they go back to their dorms.
Yeah. In the hotel, he was with Jimmy Sullivan.
Okay.
Gronowski.
All right. Yep. Let's move on to our linebackers.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
All
right. So let's move on to our linebackers.
Yeah. The second best defensive player on the field yesterday was Shire, the linebacker.
Yeah.
So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I would expect that he's nailed down a spot. What about Harrell? Does he nail the spot too? So those two are starters probably. Who gets the other spots? The backup spot and the
Montgomery played good backing up Harrell. The linebackers, the middle linebackers didn't get to flash very much because we didn't run the ball as much. We threw the ball a lot, and the other linebacker was Rex Roth, who plays really good, but he don't play a lot because we're usually in cash. And his backup was Reese, and Reese also backed up Shire. He's a freshman from Monticello who's a freak,
You're talking about Reese being Preston Reese. Is that who you're talking about?
Yep, from Monticello, Iowa. I used to work up there. But anyway.
Yeah.
And Weisskopf and Buffington.
Owen Ettinger will probably be. Hello.
Are you there?
Hello. Am I frozen again?
No, you're not.
Am I frozen?
No, you're good. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. You're the one. See, you're saying I'm freezing up on your end, but you're freezing up on my end.
I don't know. I guess people out there in the real world will tell us. When we watch it on the replay, we'll know when we froze. But anyway, Entringer played most the cash quite a bit, and he's the guy that looks like an NFL football player. I mean, he looks like Devon Mitchell only with muscles, Entringer is great. And I was going to say Buffington and Weisskopf also come in and played some linebacker too. So.
Okay. All right. Okay. I'm going to keep this moving a little bit. This is not going to be like I had hoped because I'm getting tired of all the crap going on the internet here.
Yeah.
Let's move on to our defensive backs, our cornerbacks. TJ Hall, I'm told, is doing really well, and he's expected to be back in time for the first game. He's got like a bone bruise, and the way Kirk said it was bone on bone. I don't know how bone on bone does with a bone bruise, but either how, I guess maybe the bones got smashed into each other when he took a hit. I don't know.
I mean, Hall says he got hit in the thigh with a helmet and bruised his bone,
Yeah.
which if you ever bruise your bone is very painful, but he should be,
Yes.
Kirk says he'll be back in a week. And I don't know if TJ Hall's practicing good or not because I haven't seen it. I just hope and pray because he hasn't been good at Iowa before, but they say he's much faster and quicker now because of his training. I don't know, but I sure hope and pray.
He's become a vocal leader out there too, so let's hope he can lead by example too.
Yeah, because we just don't know
who we've got.
We don't know who we have at cornerback.
Yeah, this is probably the position on the field that most people are concerned with because, I'm not sold on Deshaun Lee. I'm not convinced.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, most people would have penciled him in as our number one, but I'm not convinced that he's good enough to be number one. But I don't know who we've got behind him. I mean, let's face it.
I don't know why. I don't know why we'd be convinced of any of our cornerbacks. Hall, Entringer. I think Jalen Watson is going to be the guy. I'm hoping that this Barros guy that transferred in, he didn't play a lot yesterday. I don't know why. Of course, he's a fifth-year guy. Maybe Phil thinks he's good already. I don't know, but those are our top four cornerbacks.
Okay, so, and we don't want to forget this Tyler. I don't know what his last name is from Purdue. He's a defensive back too.
He's a safety.
Okay, safety. Okay, I don't remember seeing any. Well, he didn't play yesterday. That's right. He didn't practice. The other playing, but his practice.
The other cornerbacks and Godfrey, who's a freshman, played kind of decent yesterday. No, I can hear you. You're fine, Dean. Anyway, Godfrey, our other cornerbacks are Godfrey and the two true freshmen, Bell and Wallace. All three of them played quite a bit yesterday. And some people thought Wallace looked pretty good as a true freshman from DeMatha High School in Maryland, which is a great high school program. That's where Coker was from and some other defensive backs we've gotten. Mm-hmm. And Godfrey looked okay. Alex Moda, Phil was very mad at him yesterday. Heklinski threw a pass to Seth Anderson, and Moda just made kind of a half-assed effort. And Phil chewed his rear end. Of course, Moda's only played cornerback for a few weeks, Yeah. But that's our depth chart at cornerback. Tegan Davis is also there, but I don't know if he's totally healthy or not. But he didn't play.
Man, we got a lot of inexperience. I hope these guys are talented because we got a lot of inexperience.
I have good faith after
guys that have real experience.
Yeah, I think Godfrey and Watson will rise. I'm not sour on Deshaun Lee. Them passes that you seen completed on him, he was right there, right on the receiver. No cornerback at Iowa's ever covered a guy for 30 yards downfield. I don't know where the safeties are. I don't understand it. Riley Moss couldn't cover a guy 30 yards downfield. They're going to complete it just over top of you. So, Lee, it wasn't like he was leaving guys running wide open or something, but I'm not down on Lee.
But what about, okay. What about Xavier Wampa yesterday? I didn't
really notice him. I just noticed on the deep passes, there was never any safeties around. I thought, what are they doing? Are they blitzing? Are they playing more up the middle on tight ends or something. But Entringer was awesome, but he played a lot of cash. And Lutmer's a really good player, So and Kolarik's a good player. But I'm excited about Godfrey, Watson, Bell, and Wallace. All four of them. Well, Watson used up his red shirt last year, so he's a sophomore. He's Fred Russell's nephew. And Godfrey's a redshirt freshman, and then the other two are true freshmen. And I was impressed with both of them. And Phil is not afraid to use freshmen at cornerback, But it's the big worry of the team. Big worry of the team, that, Dean. So
yes, yeah, we know that. I think that's going to be how that goes will be our make or break of what we do with this season. Do we get to 10 wins, or do we get to 8 wins, or do we get to 7 wins? It all falls on those DBs, and we will find out against Iowa State. We won't have to wait long because Rocco or whatever his name is will be throwing the ball downfield against Iowa. And
it's like every
we'll find out really quick.
It's like every season. We will find out. At the end of the season, we might say, boy, them cornerbacks were better than we thought, or we'll say, well, we were right. One or the other, right, Dean? So,
Well, here's what my hope would be to cover up the bad DBs is that our defensive line gets a push on the offensive line, and that the linebackers get in there and maybe tackle some of those quarterbacks and put them on their butt, or have them hurry up a throw or something, so that we never find out how bad our DBs are going to be this year.
And I hope Xavier Wampa, who I'm rooting for, plays more like he did when he's a sophomore and forgets about last year and just plays his natural ability, because he's a very talented young man, and I'm rooting for him. I'm rooting for all our Hawkeyes,
Yeah. No, I am too. I remember how excited we were when Wampa decided to come to Iowa, and but that's the way it is. I think go ahead.
And the other true freshman defensive back you got to mention right now is Mr. Olante Dean. The kid from Florida. He's going to be a star, but I kind of doubt that he plays much at safety this year, And we have another safety out of Chicago, McPherson, who's a very good player, but he's just a notch below athletically of this Dean kid, so I have faith.
I'm right here. All right, guys, I apologize for all the glitches and stuff going on. Internet's not doing very well. I'm pretty sure it's on my end. Although everything else on the internet in my house is working just fine, and it shows that my internet is boosted really high. But we're going to get out of here. We're going to say thank you for watching. If you made it this far, we appreciate it very much, because I'll bet you when I look back on the broadcast, when I look back on it, I'm going to say, I don't even know if I would have watched it all the way through. If it's that bad, I will probably have me and Calvin redo this week. We'll redo it if it turns out to be that bad. Usually we just have 1 or 2 glitches in the whole show. This never had a show where it glitched from beginning to end like this.
Well,
so
it might be better.
Guys, thank you for watching. I appreciate it. And
it might be better than you expect, Dean. So we'll see what our product looks like. So
yeah.